alcohol literally causes so many things, such as dementia, kills your liver, like alcohol is a deadly drug that we've said it's okay for us to sell because certain people make money out of it. But the honest truth is alcohol kills. The idea of women going to work, guys, was based on the fact that they needed to tax us more. It had nothing to do with your rights. Guys, we could eradicate the HIV within 3 years. The whole entire South Africa, if only everyone were to test and then everyone was to start on treatment. If you're HIV positive, start on treatment, my brother. And by the way, it's one pill. It's one pill, Eka. Do you know how many people take multivitamins? Yeah, some people even, are you eating in the morning? If you are eating in the morning, you can't tell me you can't take one pill. Females, please, there's no need for soaps. There's no need for you to, anytime you use any soap, anything that's going to try and change the smell down there, guys, you're actually making it worse because you're just making your flora to, you're changing the pH to such a point where you're going to continue having recurrent vaginosis, which is, that itchiness in the vagina and white discharge that is thick. You understand? So please, only water. There's no need for soap. Do you know why, for a lot of boys or females, around 14, how their whole entire life, God decided, no, I'm going to put pause on what you call hormones. He literally puts a pause on that. And then around 14, he switches it on. It's like opening a whole entire tap of hormones.
What, for boys or generally?
Generally.
Okay.
Now,
puberty.
Yeah. Right? And that's what we call puberty. Yeah. Around that time, I promise you, even if that boy did not see anything on the screen, that boy will seek. It's a natural. We'll seek it out. It's a natural instinct.
Guys, if I walked in on my child watching anything and I left 14, I will.
At 14, you start looking at bums.
You do.
Honestly, like you start looking at bums, like, and you have that thing. You would like, you know what, like.
These are beautiful.
This is nice.
These are beautiful.
Yeah, these are nice. Like
these are
I want.
These are beautiful bums.
Yeah.
Like the features that like God created on females, right? Like when you are 40, automatically you get attracted to boobs. Automatically you get attracted to bums. Automatically you get attracted to all these things. This your feminism, you being soft.
Can I say something? Also, what I want, actually, let me ask this because we're going to talk about fertility anyway. Apparently, and a lot of pregnant women say this. Sorry, are we shooting or are we not shooting?
It's already shooting.
Oh, is it okay? A lot of women say this, and I experienced it myself. When I was pregnant, that was the time I was hit on the most. The most. It was crazy. Because you almost want to say, sir, do you see this big bump? Like, and the more I grew, the more men just hit. But people were offering to be stepdads to my kids. They would ask, where's the dad? Over to me. And I'm like, I am visibly pregnant. Like, and then I asked a friend of mine who's a doctor at work. I was like, listen, why is this happening? And it's not, because as women we speak about it, show me, did it happen to you? And are you seeing when I was pregnant? But apparently men have this hormonal response to pregnancy where they find women that are pregnant incredibly attractive.
It's the same way when a guy sees a woman with beautifully shaped hips. The moment we can see that you can breed,
breed as in like I'm fertile.
Yeah, yes. The moment I can see that you're fertile, subconsciously in my mind, the whole desire of a human being is to do that. So even and I see you pregnant, the child may not be mine, but that's a beautiful thing for me. That's something I inside of me I desire to actually have.
But say you already have it.
And also the hormones are like this. You understand? You have this angelic glow when you're pregnant. Like you even become more attractive physical. You understand? Times 4. You understand?
With this
I know.
Also sexually, like women, it's pregnancy and menopause. After menopause, that's when women are the vagina is most. I want to use it.
Matured.
I want
But
to
it
use
gets
the-
measured at 40s.
Yeah,
I heard it from
I
someone.
don't want to say measured. I want to say
Enjoyable.
most enjoyable.
And the libido is higher when you're
Libido is
pregnant.
higher.
It is. Hey guys, welcome to the MAGC podcast. We are talking all things fertility, and I mean pregnancy and everything. And we are joined by Mandla, who's a medical doctor. But we're just going to continue with that conversation, and he'll let us know more about himself somewhere in the episode. Okay. I just want to go back to why it's attractive, because women don't feel the most attractive.
On the top.
Okay. I was begging. I think if you've seen my pregnancy pictures, the Lord loved me. I don't want to lie. I was.
They showered you with those
Yeah.
hormones.
Yeah. That was probably, I was at my prime when I was pregnant. But I know a lot of women feel unattractive. They feel unwanted by their partners. They feel all these things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you get this random man who's not your husband or your partner, and they find you really, really attractive. But it's a hormonal response.
It is. But let's start with this. Like, I think for men it is a hormonal response, right? And also, like I said, it's basic instinct. Basic instinct says, if I find a woman that can breed, if I find a woman that has the arc or the curve that, or the hips that I can see, oh, this one can carry my kids, I'm more attracted to that. If a female is more feminine, it makes me drawn towards her, because it makes her more attractive to me, because she has an attribute that says she can give birth, right? And I think for females, the females are always looking at themselves from a point of view of, maybe this is what guys want. And that's why a lot of them would say, Kimobi, I'm not beautiful and this and this. But then majority of the time, if you were to listen to what guys want, majority of guys will tell you, hey, my wife when she was pregnant, my boy. Except the mood swings, but when my wife when she was pregnant, that woman, dog, I want to see her more pregnant more often. So I think we can say there's a hormonal aspect of it, there's a physical aspect of it, and also because we desire different things, so that's why you guys would look at yourselves and say, but I'm not attractive when I look like this. Mm-hmm. From inside lie, it's not like that.
Yeah, can this be considered as a fetish?
But all
Can
men,
we look
but
at
all
it
men
as a
respond.
fetish?
They respond almost the same ways.
Okay.
Is it a fetish if it's common?
Yeah,
I don't think it's a fetish.
but we can't say all men, as in like now we're giving everyone this umbrella thing. But then I'm just saying, as much as yes, generally like you'd hear that when you're engaging with guys, but then can we not also classify it as a fetish?
It is to some people, because to some people it's gotten to a point where they actually only date pregnant women.
They only want to date.
They only date pregnant women. It's not even like there's people.
I'm so sorry.
No, like I'm
my
telling
brain
you.
struggled to receive that information.
I remember there was this. We're busy looking at. It was in psych looking at patients that have fetishes, right? I promise there's things that you go like, my brother, serious. My brother, no. You know there's things that every guy has. Yo, bro, I love how women walk, or I love the shape of a woman. I love breasts, or I love bums. It's okay.
I love fingers.
I love fingers. And then there's guys who are like, yo, I'm into toes. Beautiful. It's okay. And then there's things that you sit there, and a guy will literally say, no.
I like being with pregnant women.
I love being with pregnant women. And you'd ask them, you sit down with them, where does it come from? Why is it? And I promise you, the most joy they find, they will never date anyone else except if they are pregnant. If you are pregnant, you are a target to them. Like, oh, I want to date her.
So they engage, they wait for other guys to impregnate
Those women. And
so that they can just
But
utilize that.
the thing with pregnancy, that maybe men might miss, is it's literally 9 to 10 months, right?
Yeah.
But the child is non-refundable, obtainable. The child is there forever. And then Because as women, remember, we were raised to be homemakers. We were raised to, bring kids and raise them, and the man is basically there to protect and provide. I think that's what a lot of families have raised black children or children of other colors to kind
Yes.
of. I think we are the generation that are changing it up a bit.
Which is having this conversation yesterday, which I feel like it ruins the society.
It ruins, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the idea of women going to work, guys, was based on the fact that they needed to tax us more. It had nothing to do with your rights.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. They sat there and they're like, okay, in this household, I'm only taxing him. We need more money. That's why in the 70s, that's when they invented the pads, and then that's when women were also able to go to work.
Okay.
But honestly, the idea of women going to work, I'm not saying you should not go to work or it should not be an option for you to.
I agree with you. I feel like we
But it ruins the situation because at the end of the day, you at work, I'm at work, who raises our kids? I would have appreciated it if the person I choose to marry or the person I choose to have a child with, because I took that conscious decision to knowing this person has these values and they're going to impart onto my child, right? Breeding, what we're coming back to. So it's choice. Now, at the end of the day, when I hollow who this wake, our sipati, who believes in who has a different type of mindset, who has a different type of religion, who has a different type of way of doing things. And especially if you're working your 9 to 5, you get home, your child is already done with busy homework. At 6, child is asleep, or you are busy there cooking, your husband is also cooking. You guys don't even have time for each other. I find like the whole entire system is designed in such a way that, especially it's been fostered, especially in the black community. And a lot of people look at it. Black community has also been the one that we've been pushing for females to work, for females to be strong. And it's killing us.
But some females, guys, are genuinely ambitious. And the idea of being a homemaker and being at home with the kids, raising the kids, building a home, putting together the home, giving up your dreams, giving up your dream career, giving up the things that you want to do, sometimes is a really, really, really big, being a traditional wife, basically, big sacrifice that a lot of women tend to build resentment towards, to go listen, say, especially if it's not working out anymore, okay, and you want to leave. And now I gave up my entire life basically to raise the kids and to build you a home, to build us a home. But so I feel like I understand the traditional way of doing things, but I feel like every relationship is different. So people can do whatever they want to do, but it's important to also realize that women are ambitious people. Women have dreams and they have desires, and that's why I feel like, I don't know why right now in the society we're living in, fertility, why men respond sometimes the way they do, say a woman can't carry the baby. Someone else can carry a baby. Do I have to be the one that carries that baby? Because you want a child. Someone else can give us a child.
True.
Because things are changing, guys. We're not living in the 1960s.
A friend of mine said, why am I marrying you if I'm going to have a child with someone else? Because, remember, here's the thing. There's certain things we also have to understand, especially looking at our cultural landscape. Lobola, for example. I'm saying, basically, you are going to do what? Grow the name and the household.
The surname.
So if you telling me right now, and remember people, it's not, you'd hear people saying, genetics are very important. I'm choosing to have children with you because I'm looking at you, the type of person you are. I'm looking at where you were raised. I'm looking at certain aspects of you that I would like my kids to have.
Okay.
And these are some of the conversations where, even with patients, where you'll hear the female will say, "Ish, okay, I can't be able to, so I have a problem with my uterus. My uterus can't capture, right? Can't capture the embryo, so there's no fecundation that can happen. Fecundation happens, but we always lose. You understand?
So miscarriages.
Miscarriages. So now you sit there and you have a conversation, you realize, no, man, hey, babe, maybe we should try in vitro. Maybe we should find someone who's going to be a surrogacy, right, with someone else. A majority of men tend to say, no, I don't want to have a test tube child. Where now we also comes back to the fact that we need to then have a conversation with your patient and say, okay, what is more important? But I think it's something we should put it on the table. It should not be that we say it's an option that is there just because someone doesn't want to only.
But there's women with actual fertility issues.
Yes, now on.
So, and say when we get married, I'm not aware because we haven't tried.
Yeah.
I'm not aware that I have fertility issues.
Yes.
And now I find out I have fertility issues. And now, because a lot of the time, especially traditionally, you are less of a woman, or you go look for a second wife, or you even get encouraged by the elders
To look for a
second wife who can bear you kids. Are women now just subjected to the ability of giving children?
I don't think, when we look at our cultural background and our cultural landscape we can always say, it's one of the most pivotal things that a woman can do, right? And it's also an honor. I think that's the thing. It's associated with honor, that if you can be able to bear kids for this family. And it also comes down to this. I think for a lot of people, in terms of being able to bear kids, this was, and I'm not going to say they were right, probably there were majority of things that we did in the past were questionable. Were questionable, but I've come to understand that they did them according to the times they were in. For example, someone marrying, if I'm going to come to your family and I'm going to marry you, polygamy was never he's marrying the other woman because he's lustful. No. Literally, the whole community will come to that man and say, that family is struggling, can you please take that daughter? It was more of, it's a burden on top of him. It had never been about him being lustful. You can have a concubine for that. The polygamy part was, you are taking in a second wife, you're taking someone to take care of.
And give you kids.
So it was not about ukhala.
Yes, it was not about lust.
But guys...
No, listen, there was concubines. You can have a concubine, right?
Like a side chick.
Yes.
Back in the day, it was a concubine.
Mistress.
Yes, a
mistress.
Yes. and you'd find that your wife and everyone else knows.
About the concubine?
Yes. So it's not something that you would even hide.
Can you have a child with a concubine?
If you did, it would be a problem because remember now you're bringing in... Remember when I said seeds, lineage. We are more, as Africans, actually the world has always been about lineage. If you have a child with a concubine, you're opening up your... Remember, each family or each household, treat it as a kingdom, right? So I'm a king, you're my queen, right? I have a child outside. That child now is also eligible to contest for what? For what our children have to actually inherit. Even now, let's go back to now. Same way, we are a kingdom. If I have a child outside, that child is able to say, Kintate waka, Lina, I'm deserving of the inheritance. Even worse, when they are even not your kids. If you were busy supporting them. That you were supporting, when you pass away, they will literally, remember your pension fund is handled by a board. So the board decides who needs it most. It's not about...
If you don't have a will.
the will does not factor into a pension fund because the pension fund does not fall under the civil. So the pension fund does not fall. It falls. That's why they will give it when you nominate people that you would want them to give your pension fund to. You nominate like I would like them to give it to Gok Banban or Spanban, but at the end of the day, they decide who needs it more. So if you have a to someone out to how money and one out to hudulam kuku,
I cannot.
they will give that child maybe 60% of the money.
I actually want to go back to the whole lineage thing.
Yes.
Right? So, I want us to understand what causes infertility because we had a bit of a conversation earlier. I want us to talk about that, right?
Okay.
And I want us to also talk about lineage. Okay. But let's talk about what causes infertility. So, what causes infertility?
Okay.
In both men and women.
In both men and women. I think first let's like describe what is infertility according to. Yes. I think. Okay. So infertility according to our new guidelines is it is the inability to get pregnant or give birth, right? The inability to get pregnant after having tried having sex for over a year. And the sex, guys, must be the most important part. The sex part must be regularly. Can't be like you slept with that person 1 month, 2 months, and a skipper, and then you come back one at a time. No.
But what if we're looking at ovulation time? What if we track the ovulation and we're having sex? Maybe it's not regularly, but we're targeting ovulation.
Okay, then that's also
the
good.
whole year.
Yeah, that's also good because you're trying to get into the window period, right? Yeah. So that's also good. So the basis of it is that you must have tried for over a year. And funny enough, 50% of the cases don't even need intervention. After a year, people get pregnant. Now, the cases that don't get pregnant, which now come into the main causes of it, right? The most frequent causes of it is when we have what you call your tubal defects. Now, that's like if there's a problem with your tubes, right? Now, if there's a problem with the tubes, maybe a disease such as
fallopian tubes.
Your fallopian tubes. A disease such as PID, pelvic inflammatory disease, where you've had multiple infections, and then that infection has moved from your vagina, goes into your uterus, and then goes into your.
Sorry, by infections, do you mean STIs or just
STIs?
Yes. Or do you mean like UTIs?
No. Remember, UTIs is urinary tract infection,
Yes.
right? Which is the bladder and urinary tract, right? So when you say sexually transmitted disease, now you're talking about. So this is your bladder. This is your uterus. So when we're speaking about this part.
Okay.
Going this side, right? So multiple infections, whether sexually transmitted or remember imbalances in your pH will also cause an increase in other bacteria, right? So remember you have what you call a floral wall. Basically, in your vagina has bacteria which are good and bacteria which are bad, right? And as your pH is maintained to a certain degree, pH is the temperature, basically, the temperature around this area. And then that temperature that is there must be maintained,
okay.
Right? Sometimes you find yourself maybe going through your menstrual cycle, immune system goes down, and then the bad bacteria decides, Masbangene, boy.
But sometimes the pH level happens when you have sex with certain people.
True.
A lot of women have spoken about that. Some of us see it as nature telling you that's not the right person. True. But I know a lot of women actually, the pH changes when you have unprotected sex with certain men. I don't know if it's incompatibility or...
The pH changes regardless of the type of men you have sex with. It's just that with other men, you're more prone to have a reaction to it. Remember, when sperm comes into your into your vagina. Literally your whole entire body is secreting spermicides. That's why getting pregnant, guys, is such a funny thing. Your whole body says, we are not getting pregnant. But it's actually a selection process. So your body is selecting the sperms that can go in and get us to a point where, oh, this one is healthy enough, this one is strong enough, this one doesn't have deformities. Come into that thing we were talking about, complications or causes of it, right?
So that's how my son was made.
For two,
He was a fighter. He was selected.
He was selected. You know, it's not by mistake.
Some of us have scarier stories, so we will not share.
He's a fighter.
So you have your tubal defects, which will be your pelvic inflammatory diseases, and majority of patients will come in the hospital. Majority of patients will come in the hospital not even knowing that they have problems with fertility, right?
But like PCOS, endometriosis.
Yes. Endometriosis, PCOS. So now that's when you're talking about the uterus itself. And remember, your PCOS is when your ovaries have cysts, right? So you can imagine your ovaries already have cysts, and there's a lot of cysts in there, making it difficult for you to have what? Your menstrual cycle, right? A normal menstrual cycle, right? And with when you're looking at your endometriosis, that's your uterus, literally the inside of the uterus goes outside. That layer that should be inside the uterus is outside. Now, a woman will come to the hospital saying, oh, man, I have pain here, or I have PID, I have this severe pain here, doctor, I don't know what's going on. You understand? And that's how majority of the time we'll say, oh, you have PID, these are the complications of PID. Oh, you have PCOS, or these are the complications of PCOS. So a majority of the time, females don't come to the hospital because they can't give birth. They come to the hospital because of other things. And then that's how they're diagnosed. Yes, because they're in pain. And then, so you have your PCOS, which is cysts in your ovaries. You have your tubal defect. And then you also have the problem on the male side, which is frequent, guys. It's frequent.
Why am I smiling?
Before I'm even hearing now,
it's
waiting
frequent.
in anticipation to hear this.
No, it's so frequent that it's scary because you'll hear it like, yo, Lomfazi can't give me kids. Lomfazi can't give, and you sit in there like, okay, sharp, like, have you guys actually went to the hospital and did a fertility workup, you know? And then you get there and you realize, no, man, the problem is
the swimmers.
The swimmers are not swimming, you know? So for example, you find that, remember with your PCOS, one of the biggest problems is the fact that now you don't have your regular cycles, right? Therefore, now you're having a problem with, there's no ovulation. Therefore, now there's no eggs coming out of your ovaries going into the tubes. So therefore, we can't have a fecundation happening there. But with males, that's why the moment we say, for example, if you say, you guys, no, we've been having sex over a year, we've been trying, now we're going maybe to 1.5 years, 2 years, and nothing. First question your doctor will ask you is, hey, do you have kids? Oh, no, I don't have kids. Oh, does he have kids? Oh, he has kids. Also, incompatibility also happens, where a man will literally sleep with you and your body will literally destroy each and every sperm before it gets there.
Hey.
Is that the Lord protecting you?
Probably is.
Because and then he sleeps with another woman and then he has a child.
And you're sitting there, now you're thinking, hey, when they're wrong on me.
So it's incompatibility.
It's incompatibility.
So you can both have children, just not together.
Yeah.
That is so wild.
So
what if you're married?
Oh, okay.
So
Much
okay.
better.
The other thing that I want to know is, can lifestyle changes
help with
infertility?
They can.
From both sides.
Yes, they can. Remember, so, okay, let's say you're coming into you're coming into the practice or coming to the hospital, saying, hey, we've been trying to give birth, right? But nothing, I'm not getting pregnant, and we've been trying over a year or two. Okay, do you have kids? No, I don't have kids. Does he have kids? No, he doesn't have kids. Okay, cool. One of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna ask on his side, we're gonna ask for sperm, right? So in the sperm, we're gonna be checking these things. We're gonna check the volume. Volume is how much the sperm is, right? We're gonna check
Like the amount of
it, right? And then we also wanna check his swimmers. Are all his swimmers healthy? Or because remember, there's other swimmers that are not healthy. Some have
Are they just
two
lazy?
twins.
They don't.
Some are lazy. Some literally would get in there and just do circles and not go where they need to go.
I'm a swimmer.
I'm telling you.
No.
I'm telling you. So some will be out there doing rounds, instead of
Shama push up, mela kitchen.
And then some will be sitting there. Some will get in there and then they won't have a protective layer.
Oh, and they'll die.
Then they'll die. So you're looking at that. You're looking at the morphology of your swimmers. You're looking at you look at their tail. How many tails does it have? So basically, it should have only one tail, right? It's like a tadpole. It should be able to swim, right? Two tails. Normally, you don't want to have a child with a tadpole that had two tails.
Does it cause syndrome?
And then it causes syndrome. So that's why at the end of the day, that's why your body literally fights off anything that's gonna remove it. And that's why also a lot of patients.
I don't know why I'm feeling weird.
And life, it seems like it also shows that
it's so complicated.
We come from far.
Yeah.
We come from far. We didn't just come to existence from having just to be born. We fought in the vagina, right?
We fought in the
but
vagina.
it's also so much more complicated than what we think, because we also sometimes when children are born with deformities, people blame amatlozi, they blame the fact. It's just the two tails.
Yeah, it's just the two tails. And especially remember, so this is what's gonna happen, right? So the swimmers are gonna come in, right? Let's say 2.something million swimmers are coming in, right? And then your body's like, oh, okay, certain swimmers won't even reach the uterus. Certain swimmers will get into the uterus. Some swimmers go left, some swimmers go right, and then certain swimmers will get into the uterus. Remember what you need. Whenever we're gonna say fecundation, it means that we need a half of you and a half of the male, right? Yeah. So that's why it's there. With chromosomes is X and X, and then X and Y. X and Y is males, X and X is female.
I want us to come back to this. But
yes.
Because
Yes.
lineage.
Yes, male.
Sendings. We'll come back.
Yes, males are responsible.
I also think it also with the lineage part, or we're still coming to
No,
that
we
one.
still go. Let's finish the fertility, because it's very important for people to understand that.
I think I also have a question. Sorry to cut you
the
off.
options available.
To get
No,
out.
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we go
Yes.
to the options, I just wanted to ask with the males, right? You talked about sperm having two tails. You spoke about sperm being lazy and stuff.
Yeah.
Like physically.
Not lazy. They're just not swimming. Let's not call them lazy.
Well,
They are.
The way I'm understanding.
Okay, think about it this way. It's like a group of kids from school. Some are fat, some are not, some are tall, some are not, some are short.
But it's not their fault. Guys, it's not short people's fault that they're short. So if I can't swim, I can't swim.
Yeah. So my question, just to just complete it, right?
Yeah.
Before we move on, I wanted to ask, as a guy, how do you then now get to actually physically get to know what is a healthy sperm in terms of is there a way to actually get to know what a healthy sperm looks like? In terms of maybe the color, the thickness, and stuff. Maybe if you can maybe clarify that for us.
Okay, so the reason why I said the shape of the sperm. Remember, they're coming in grooves, and what you normally see is this. You see this,
In a different color, but sure.
right?
No, you see
You see
fluid.
You see the fluid, right?
Oh, okay.
You see the fluid, right? Number one, guys, if it's yellow, it is painful. Please go to your doctor.
Sorry, what do you mean it's painful?
Guys,
Ejaculation is painful.
if the ejaculation is painful, if what you're ejaculating is yellow, it should be white, guys. Color matters. pH changes. Sometimes it can be a bit sour, sometimes not. Sometimes, but
I was
it's
going to
okay.
ask that, Jorge. Nah, this might be for, I mean, sensitive viewers, this is for wellness, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, people are a lot more liberal in their sexual practices, right? Is there a particular way that sperm should taste?
What?
I'm happy.
Okay.
Wellness. The ladies that want me to ask this question know who they are.
Why? Okay.
It's a valid question, I think, because it's pH, right?
Yeah, it's pH.
So is it healthy sperm or not?
Yes.
Why are
Okay.
you eating sperm?
No one is eating anything.
No, but
it's just people are doing
I
it.
get the point. Though.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's the same way with guys when they go down and they'll say, "Ish, hey, I was bending down there," you know,
You were what?
bending down there. Sometimes, sometimes the pH is so like to a point where it's like acid on the tongue.
Lemon.
It's like acid on the. No, guys,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know where you guys have. It's like lemon.
Yes.
No. I'm not saying I've tasted.
I'm just wondering. Guys, not lemon.
Lemon.
It tastes, but that
Lemon.
obviously means your pH is off.
Yeah, it means your pH is off, and then you'll
And
find.
then obviously drink more cranberry
Drink more-
juice, water.
Yes.
I know people are drinking okra water right now.
Yeah.
Apparently, it increases fertility. Actually,
Cinnamon as well.
Yeah.
That's why I heard with milk.
But okra water is very popular on social media right now.
Also, more importantly, guys, sorry, side note on that. Females, please, there's no need for soaps. There's no need for you to, anytime you use any soap, anything that's going to try and change the smell down there, guys, you're actually making it worse because you're just making your flora to, changing the pH to such a point where you're going to continue having recurrent vaginosis, which is, that itchiness in the vagina and white discharge that is thick. You understand? So please, only water. There's no need for soap. God designed it in such a way that it doesn't need your help. Water.
As a female, now, I know we've heard a lot of this. We've read like a lot of people say, but just a little bit of soap for
Listen.
what is this? For the intention of because
But it smells.
are you saying just like
water
butt
smells
slap and
good?
water?
It smells very good. I promise you this. It smells impeccable with just water because the pH, the flora itself. Think about it this way. So when I say the flora, it's like the combination of the bacteria, the fungi, all of that. Ne? There's a beautiful smell that they secrete when they are all healthy and none of them is making too many babies. As long as there's no infection or population growth in one of them, I promise you, any guy that goes down there will go back the same day. But anytime there's we go into the left or we go into the right, now the guy is going down there and then he's tasting acid.
You know the acid part. I'm really struggling.
It burns your tongue.
I don't understand. I've never heard of that in my life.
It literally
But-
burns your tongue. Think about it this way. Same way with females, right? Females will say, "Hey man, this one tastes a bit sour. This pH is off."
So should I say go visit the doctor?
Yeah, go, boy. We're not moving in the right direction. This one is sour. The color is off.
Especially if you try.
Yes, the color is off. The smell is not.
Great.
It should not. Guys, it should not smell. There should not be any smell.
So,
So
lava
what-
abastima ngeanyanisi bona to make things better.
Or
So I
that,
heard.
or that kind of that thing.
Because kunalaba abastima ngeanyanisi.
Yoni. Is it yoni? Yoni.
I don't know yoni.
Like it's you put I don't know if it's but you put something and then you steam. You squat over it and then apparently that
Same.
makes
It means
you
it's the same
fertile.
method.
Yes,
Njenge
apparently
anyanisi.
it makes you fertile. Not drinking, steaming. Like the steam. I think yoni. Honestly.
I've also heard that. I've also heard about some of the practices. I can't comment on them because, a lot of things. As long as we have never had tests or we've never had studies, we can't comment on them. But I think it's very important for us to be wary of things that we have yet to be proven. Last year I was having a conversation with someone who said every time that the female had multiple recurrent infections, right? And she was blaming abaphansi and the fact that that's the reason why she can't give kids, why she can't get pregnant. Found that she has, because multiple infections, why? She keeps on getting treatment. The husband says, the husband says, it's sexual transmitted. So remember, I can't treat you only. If I'm going to treat you for an infection, I need to treat the person you're sleeping with. So sometimes what would happen is I would treat you and I say, can you please tell him to come back on Monday? He never comes in. And then you're wondering, why am I always having these recurrent infections? Why am I having these recurrent infections? On the guy, it's most likely the only time a guy would probably complain, it takes a bit longer for us to see the STD. You understand? On a female, it's gonna react. Some females even react in the same first 24 hours. With the males, there's males that will go 6 months, having to spread it out to everyone else. And then after 6 months, you corner as a one with, hey man, there's a yellow discharge here. This yellow discharge is bending my underwear. My underwear is turning, it's bleach here, chief. You understand? And it's only then that you have a situation where you're like, oh, that's when he's going to get help. But then when you sit down with them, you realize like, oh, what about all the other people?
Yeah, so you need to go back now.
That's the problem we have in SA.
And some people don't keep count, eh?
No, some people don't keep count, and some people feel like, yo, no, I'm okay.
It's not my responsibility.
It's not my responsibility. Why is it my fault?
No, but guys, let's be responsible. You need to communicate with your sexual partners.
Same way with HIV. Do you know actually it literally requires, according with the new guideline and with the new TLD, the new HIV treatment, guys, we could eradicate the HIV within 3 years. The whole entire South Africa, if only everyone were to test, and then everyone was to start on treatment. If you're HIV positive, start on treatment, my brother. And by the way, it's one pill. It's one pill. Do you know how many people take multivitamins? Yeah, some people even, are you eating in the morning? If you are eating in the morning, you can't tell me you can't take one pill, chief. I remember back in the day, in Kosi Johnson times, we're talking about the goma and toteka.
And there were physical
changes that you could see.
People knew you were taking.
Now you won't even know.
No, people are healthy as hell.
Now you won't even know. And also to the guys.
So like taking ARVs, like taking your asthma pump.
Yes, there's nothing wrong.
I think asthma pump is a bit drastic. It's like taking
a
multivitamin.
Multivitamin. And I think also, man, if you were to ask me, honestly speaking, HIV or sugar diabetes, guys, diabetes kills. Diabetes does everything HIV does, but even gets worse.
Amputations.
Oh, listen. Now you're there, you're a guy.
ED. Yo!
It doesn't work. It doesn't wake up, my brother. It's here. It's here. Like you're asking. Now you're asking yourself, like, how God. And God is like, hey, chief, it's a shoe.
But also there's treatment for that. Like there's treatment for that, and also there's treatment for fertility as well, right?
Yeah.
So what treatments are available for, I think we must come back to ED because I think this is very important. Because both my brothers do not like men's clinic. What treatment is available for fertility or infertility?
Okay, so depending on the case, where the issue is, right? So, for example, if we're saying you have your Asherman syndrome, which means that your uterus, the scars in your uterus, that means your uterus can hold on to the egg, right? So you do get this fertilization, but it doesn't hold on. Therefore, now now we're having a conversation about, on this one we might need a surrogacy to carry the pregnancy, right?
Sure.
Surrogacy means that there's someone else who's going to carry the pregnancy. It can still be your ovary and your husband's
your egg.
It can still be your egg. Yes, sorry. It can still be your egg and then also your husband's sperm, and then they'll combine it, and then they'll put it into someone, right? So at least you'll still have the genetic makeup of this is my son and this is my son, right? Now it can also be a situation where you guys look for someone else, or look for an egg from someone else, or a different donor. This is when you have what you call your PCOS, where ovaries are the problem. Now we can't get the eggs anymore. The ovaries are the problem. Then we can have that conversation. If the guy can't have kids, his sperm is shut. That's a problem now. Then we have to have It's sad.
Yeah.
But if that's the situation, then we have to have a different conversation. We have to have the conversation about there's adoption. It's a case.
Oh, not even like IVF.
But remember IVF. What is IVF? IVF is me taking someone's sperm. That's also an option, right? But I'm talking in regards to if he wants to have his own biological kids.
Okay.
He can't have his own biological kids. Same way with the woman who doesn't have a uterus. You can't have your own biological kids. If you don't have a uterus and ovaries, we don't have a way out, you know. But there's IVF if and then you're in the situation. There's adoption in that situation. And then also for females when, for example, there's a problem with your body not being able to secrete, especially in cases like your PCOS. Remember in your PCOS, the biggest problem is the fact that you don't have regular menstrual cycles, right? Because your body is not secreting what? It's not secreting your eggs, right? So therefore, there's no eggs coming out. So therefore, we can't have fertilization where there's no eggs.
Sure.
So now, in a situation where you have amenorrhea or anuria, where basically you have a situation where there's no ovulation, right? Then at that time, then we are forced to do what? We are forced to give you medication. So we have in SA we have letrozole and carbamazepine. So basically those will help you be able to what? For your eggs to be able to come out of the ovaries and for you to actually have a situation where you are able to get pregnant.
Yeah.
But the problem is with those, we then want to have a conversation with you that a treatment comes with, chances are we're giving you a hormonal treatment. We're not going to have one child. Chances are we're going to have 2 or 3. Chances are you find that instead of 1 egg coming out, now we have 2 eggs coming out. Now you have 3 eggs coming out. So those are some of the complications you'd have. But
It's not really a complication, especially if you only have 3 kids once. Let's go, I think.
yeah, so
Because there's a lot of people that are really happy with like multiple.
That's also one of the ways that have been practiced to. If you want to have more kids, you can also remember fertility clinics, guys, are not only for people who want 1 kid or who can't have kids. Sometimes you can even go there just to say, "Hey, I want 2. I don't want 1."
Like being pregnant isn't like.
So you
the
can
most
you can
exciting
order
thing.
twins.
Yes, you can order
Yeah.
2.
Really?
And
I
you
might
can-
just do that.
Then
honestly.
it's done in the lab.
It can be done in the lab. That's the in vitro way. But it can also be done where we give your woman medication so that she's able to secrete 2 eggs at the same time. Remember, every month if you find 1 egg is the one that's sometimes she'll find 2 eggs at the same time, sometimes 3.
Okay, 3 is a bit drastic. I think 2.
I think
2
I would
eggs.
love to have 5.
Yeah, then
all
1
the time.
pregnancy,
Yeah.
then you get your gym body back, and then we
5.
keep it moving.
5 nje, once that they go, then you're done.
Okay,
Multiple.
no.
Eish.
All this worrying.
All I'm saying is, man, as the one who's gonna be helping those kids come to life, man, it's you don't want to be in that situation. It's like
No.
because you understand that, guys, it's so funny. Kids will literally kill each other.
In
the womb.
They'll eat.
They'll eat each other.
Oh,
One will
Yeah,
say,
they eat
"What?"
each other.
Ngani banganamazini?
But remember, it's like
They dissolve into.
Remember, it's also about the fact that one will say, "Mina, I want all the nutrients," and then the other one will be like, "I'm not getting any."
Survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest.
Literally.
That's why you find situations where sometimes you'll find one of the complications with twins pregnancy is the fact that one of the children will be low birth weight. The other one you can see with him now you were eating, chief.
And then I'm cool, I'm shy.
I'm shy. This one is forever.
I'm shy.
It's forever the same situation. So
You know what? While we are here, I want us to really clarify this lineage thing. Because they still men that think that women, because he will literally go to another woman because Ulona is just giving birth to girls. And Funumfana, because I don't know, for some reason, and I am so sorry if, I don't want to offend anyone, I just don't understand the hype behind. I'm a boy mom. I don't understand the hype. I don't get it. I don't get the hype behind boy kids and why men want boy kids. I know they carry the surname. Their surnames don't change. That's the only reason. That's the only thing I can think of. But there's men that go, I want a boy child. But you are responsible for the boy child. X, Y. And I think a lot of men don't understand that.
Okay.
I said that with a lot of aggression. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Okay. Let me first answer the who's actually responsible. The why. Remember, females. So chromosomes is what makes up us, right? So you have your chromosomes, and then you have your 23 from your father, 23 from your mom, right? And then they make chromosomes, which are 46. And then that 46 makes up a cell. And then a cell makes up a human being. You understand? Now, problem is, there has to be a 23 from your father, 23 from your mom, right? Now, that 23 is like an X. It's like this. So this is how your chromosome is. It's like this. So this thing, this part, let's say it's your father is X, and then this part oyaka babako X in. And this part oyaka babako X, nale X. Therefore, we're gonna have
a girl child.
Girl child. But sometimes you find that this part oyaka babako Y, level X, right? And then that's why a situation where now the father is the one that actually determines if you having a boy child or not. The female literally comes in there saying, I'm coming in this game with a 75%. It's female already comes in, it's 50%. You as a man, you're already coming with 25%. You're giving her another 5%, another 25%, saying, baby, chances of us having a daughter is 75%.
And that's also okay. Having girl children is absolutely okay.
I think also, man, if we were to think about it from context, of why it's important to men, and why it's important to the idea of having a boy child. You said it. You glossed over it. Think it's like, oh no, but I know it's the surname. But no, the surname is key. The surname is key. The fact that I'm building something. And in me building something of me, a piece of me will continue into the next generation. And that's why, at the end of the day, people will always come back to basic instincts. I need me to continue. Even when you are looking, I don't like using this example or analogy of animals, because people tend to say, but we're not animals. But the truth is...
We are animals.
The truth, yes. The truth is...
Okay.
the truth is, even in packs of lions, or in that pride of a lion, there's the selection of who can actually breed. That's why not everyone was... Even back in the day, not everyone was allowed to get married. Therefore, not everyone was allowed to breed. Some people were like... Where now you're coming with problems, you're not gonna get married, you're gonna go to war, it's okay. Some other men were selected. You deserve to breed because of your genetic makeup, and your genetic makeup is important for our survival. So, and as long as we also don't, if I'm not saying the girl child is not important, she's very important and very pivotal. In my culture, um, you'll hear how I call my little, she's my little sister, but I call her my living ancestor, right? Ekhaya is ngumakazi, like she's the one that we call every time when the family is gonna have gatherings or something. All men will say, "No, sifuna ukwenza umsebenzi. I want to do something at home." The first person they will discuss it amongst themselves. Say, no, spiritual. Mandla, yes, we're gonna do this. Before they even announce it to the family, they have to go to the elder sister. Hey, sis, what do you think? So I think also, man, how we view it is we should literally look at why the traditional aspect, they looked at it that way. Now, let's go to this. You now saying, it doesn't really matter. I just gave you a daughter. Right? Sharp. Your daughter gets married.
But they're still your daughter. It's not like them getting married.
No, but now I get it. We're gonna use. I love using this one. We're gonna use how we look at things now. Also, right? Your daughter gets married, right? And you'll hear some people say, and a man will leave his house and become one with the.
Then your surname is gone.
Surname is gone.
Surname is gone. Like now, the child is no longer Mboba. Mboba is your surname, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no longer Mboba.
I really think we need an episode on this cultural aspect of children, because I have so many questions. I think maybe.
And also,
like I grew up in Pretoria, so it's not that deep. But like.
Yeah, I think also, having to, besides this thing, like maybe they're going to be a heir or they're going to be inherit whatever, but having to watch yourself, it's like you having to watch yourself. It's a reflection of you.
What, a boy child?
A boy child, yeah, having to like,
and also,
this thing, it's like you're actually literally watching you having to grow.
Guys, do you know the amount of deadbeat dads we have in South Africa that have
children? Yes, we.
Like,
no. I'm talking about a present father. You understand?
But I think what you're saying is we do have a lot of deadbeat fathers, and it's also actually it's in the whole entire world. It's not even a black thing. It's people have tend to move away from being present fathers. But of a situation where the father is present. We can talk about the social ills that led to the fact that we are deadbeat fathers, and I tend to feel like this generation is better. The previous generation had kids everywhere.
Come on next door.
They did not even hide the kids. You know, as we are there, you know, you've even find a 15-year-old
next door.
No, generally, guys, it like a skin sam. If you ask skin sam, it happens everywhere.
Yes.
So I think this is just such a full conversation. I don't think we'll ever stop talking about it, right?
Okay.
But going back to like infertility, what practical steps would you give people that are struggling right now with infertility? Because like we said, there are options such as adoption or surrogacy, but a lot of people really want to have the journey of being pregnant together and right? So what practical tips would you give people that are just watching, that haven't gone to the doctor yet? They haven't, what would you tell them to just motivate them to do something about it?
Okay. First things first, guys, lose weight.
I didn't want to laugh.
Lose weight.
I didn't know where it was going.
Lose weight.
Hold on.
Stop smoking. Stop drinking.
Really?
Yeah, that actually affects your sperm. Funny enough, guys, do you know alcohol? Hey, the fact that alcohol is legal is funny, but anyhow, that's a different story. But anyhow, alcohol literally causes so many things, such as dementia, kills your liver, like alcohol is a deadly drug that we've said it's okay for us to sell because certain people make money out of it. But the honest truth is alcohol kills a lot. And also now, as a guy, please, as a cheater, Stop drinking alcohol, my brother. And I know you're sitting there on some. Let's say 2. I'm going to say that day. Or that day, it's wale na kobala lena.
What is stout?
I
heard about stout.
Yeah, you hear?
Mara, the swimmers are not swimming. Oksalayo.
Swimmers are not swimming.
Marosa
Yeah,
is stout. See, upamanda.
Guys, I really wonder when you hear all these things. I don't even.
But when you're engaging with the guys.
With the guys.
Like you get all these
Stout.
things. Like,
Yeah, no,
Castle, like by stout, you mean that castle?
Yeah, castle messed
Stout.
up. Yeah.
Not even you know about it.
Yeah, like guys, literally out here, there's guys who go. Me personally, guys, the only thing I've ever seen having a difference was, Isko.
Mkomboti.
Boy. For me,
Yeah.
I've never tested it, guys. I've never actually. No, I've tested it.
Yeah.
I've tested it, but I've never. Yeah, I actually have a son.
Is that how you?
Yeah, I actually have a son.
From Mkomboti.
Yeah.
With some Mkomboti.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Mkomboti, boy. Then some sebenzini, came back. Was home. Came back. Komothinyana, I came back with my 2-liter.
Yeah.
Oh, gogo wami ungitshelile athi mntanami hamba ngale. I was like, ngiyabonga gogo. When did
Yeah.
my 2-liter? Bah.
Hi, you hear it from
Pregnant.
us guys. But also, I'm not hearing it for the first time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not hearing it for the first time. I also heard it
I'm
from
not
other
feeling.
guys.
Can I just make sure
I
that we all
Simbamba
have the same
siskala.
understanding of from Mkomboti King?
Mkomboti is a traditional beer.
Fermented.
Traditional beer.
Traditional beer.
Eh.
Rula country one.
A re bue ka patje, a re bue ka ntho ke eng? Scala.
No. Ke bua
Yeah.
ka Mkomboti, but to make sure that we all have the same understanding of
Yeah.
Mkomboti.
Homemade one.
Homemade one, yeah. Not the
And
one.
then-
Creamy.
And apparently also bananas, peanuts.
Those help in terms of
Do
those-
they
In
help?
terms of what actually?
So what you're talking about is now we're talking about what constitutes your sperm, right? Now you
apparently makes them swim.
now you're speaking about what constitutes your sperm and your pH level. Your bananas will help with the pH of the sperm. Your eggs, your protein, basically, and peanuts helps in terms of the structure that they have and the ability to swim.
Hi, Bo.
So
Guys, eat your peanuts. Eat your
You
peanuts.
find
Eat
somebody else like
your proteins.
peanuts no. Nyodala.
And get Mkomboti, like.
Short
like
like peanuts Mkomboti jakala.
hey, go to the hospital first. Hey, these are just opinions. Hey,
Yeah.
it's just
But
opinions.
guys,
that
I think
yes.
more than anything, please go to your fertility clinics and just get more information about. If especially like the doctor has said that. If you've been trying for a year regularly and nothing has happened, visit a fertility clinic.
On the year part. Suppose I'm dating, we're seeing each other on weekends. Chances of us having to catch or make a baby
It's
can
taking
even
another
take
year. though.
longer because maybe we might
It'll take
miss the
longer.
ovulation day.
Yeah, it will
Yeah.
take longer.
So like I think like maybe people should also be mindful.
Track
of
your
that.
guys. Get the Flow app. Women
Yeah.
get your Flow app. Track
Yeah.
your periods. It is so accurate. Okay, mine is accurate. My friends' ones are accurate. I don't know about, but the Flow app is absolutely amazing because you know when you're ovulating. You know when your period is coming, and I think it would be a great tool for people that are struggling with.
To be able to count the
Yeah, to able to just the window period.
in the period. And also, guys, the reason why we say people should go as soon as possible, after that 1 year of trying, like I said, around 50% naturally get pregnant without any need, and then there's those ones that we need to assist, and then you have the 20% that we don't know. We all pray. We literally look at you like I'm married. We took blood. We checked your hormone of your ovaries. We checked your hormones to see at when are you at your highest chances of you getting pregnant. We did an ultrasound. We also we inserted a camera inside so that we can see your tubes. So after all of that, there's also a chance that something that we can't fix or something we can't identify. So that exists.
So then what happens in that case if doctors can't help you? You just pray it out. Guys, I believe in prayer. I pray about it.
Honestly speaking, this is when this is when you this is when you consult the doctor that does not have a degree.
You consult a specialist.
Consult a specialist that never went to school, that never went to varsity.
We are not. Please,
we are not condoning it. We're just saying that, guys. It's such a funny enough. Do you know 80%? Actually, it's 83%. And this was like in 2020, and I think they did the stats around KZN. 83% of patients before they come to see doctors have already seen a traditional healer. And we need, as a South Africa, people go to traditional healers before they come to us.
And herbal injection that happens.
Yo.
So traditional healer, continue. Maybe
we need to build a relationship where, because remember, as much as there's a lot of Western medicine that we practice, we must practice it in the context of our people.
Sure, 100%.
Right? So we need, that's why there's programs in places like KZN and Eastern Cape where there's trying to unify and have a situation where they even help the traditional healers identify certain things. Like, for example, if a patient comes in and the patient is dehydrated, the traditional healer is able to call the hospital. Hey, chief, when are you going to die? You understand?
You're just dehydrated.
You understand? Sometimes you find the situation is there'll be traditional healers who see patients and they can see I can't help this person. And because of ego and because we don't have a relationship, whether it's us or them, it makes it hard for the patient. And I think at the end of the day, we all want to help the patient, right? Essentially, we all want to help the patient. So that's why we need to remove the stigma of looking at the traditional healer as someone who's maybe not of the same caliber as you, but look at them as an understanding of a different type of medicine that they do. Because you gotta understand, according to who says what is medicine.
And we respect like Chinese medicine, we respect all these other...
Which they do, and they excel in them.
But besides ego as well, I feel like sometimes it's money. You understand, like sometimes, I think I seen this like a lot in social media, like where like maybe traditional healers would engage and stuff. Sometimes not knowing how to get to a solution of something, let the person go. Because then now sometimes it's just like it's all about money.
You must slaughter something.
No, but you see, that's the beauty of having a relationship now. It's the fact we are trying to we're trying to get to a point where we're saying the patient comes first. And I think I think every doctor in their sense, when we go to all individual schools, we are taught that we are there to help people.
100%.
So if now they still have that, it's harder to have the conversation with them because there's no board. I can wake up tomorrow and say, hey, there's a calling. I'm opening my own Sangoma situation. There's no regulatory board. So that's really the problem we have now.
You can't hold them accountable.
You can't hold them accountable. Same way with when we're having a problem of abantu abaya entabeni, there's no regulatory board for initiations. Nowadays we are trying to get to a point where we have that regulatory board, but at times people say, I won't listen to you, and there's nothing you can do because you can't even enforce a certain law. You understand? So I think if we can have that relationship, it will help. If ugogo banibani is able to say, this thing I can't help you, yes, if she feels comfortable enough to say, here I don't know. You understand?
Actually, there's UGP Uma Orange. He spoke about this like on one of the podcasts where he actually had a problem with his leg and he ended up having to amputate it. And then I think he tried it the traditional way. And then like after trying multiple of them, the last one actually told him and sent him straight to clinic. And then he got diagnosed with like diabetes or something. Then he had to be amputated. He spoke about it publicly. So I think like
those conversations. Imagine if we had, because remember, probably was an ulcer that could have been treated. We're gonna help you with your number. We control your sugars, so therefore you're able to heal. Now, poison is sitting there. Now we're sitting there. Poison is every 3 months. And you seen. Remember before. For I think for someone to even say, hey, this one is. Remember for us to amputate your leg, ne? That thing is dead, guys. There's maggots and it's dead. The first thing we're gonna try is there's patients who will have an ulcer. We will try and wash it out. Even if there's maggots in the ulcer, we'll wash it out. We'll clean it. Start
Maggots
dressing.
as in dibuku?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to clear.
Yeah. So it's on. You'll see. You clean it out, wash them out, start them out from fresh, and then just continue. But for us to amputate you, it means that you've gotten to a point where there's no blood flow going. For example, right? So there's whenever I'm gonna examine you, right? So whenever I'm gonna examine a patient, right? There's points where I'm gonna try and feel your pulses, right? So we use those points to also determine where there's no blood flow, right? Here you'll have your popliteal, right, which is right here, and then you also have your pedial. So you find that a patient has no blood flow after a pedial. Ne? After the pedial, patient has no blood flow. So if there's no blood, there's gangrene. Gangrene is literally death of the tissue. Do you understand?
Where literally your leg turns black.
Literally your leg turns black because there's no flow of blood. Without flow of blood, there's no oxygen, there's no nutrients, right? Now, some patients get to a point where now that gangrene has been.
Is it not painful though, the gangrene? It can't be painful because it's
dead.
Fair.
It's dead. Some patients do experience pain, but a majority of the time there's no pain.
Okay.
And also remember, you'll find that there's this one that will be dry. So we'll literally tell you that toe of yours will be dry, black. Come to us and we're like, chief, there's no need here. It's gonna fall off. Wait, Linda, it's gonna fall off.
I'd be mortified waking up without my big toe.
But you would have been ready. You saw that toe turning. How you waited months. Also, man, people should go to the hospital or clinics, man, guys. It's not. And I know
it doesn't make you weak, guys. Just go get help.
Men,
I think with us,
and
the guys, it's very
men,
tough.
go get help. Go get tested. Go see if your swimmers are swimming.
Men, please.
Because women are so aware. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We know that we have PCOS. We very, very well aware.
Yeah.
But guys, you know what? This conversation will never end. Dr. Mandla, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I think we need to have him back because there's clearly a lot of questions and answers
That actually
that
came
we
from
need
this
to delve.
episode itself.
Yes, that came from this episode itself. So, and thank you guys for watching. From myself and the Wellness Ace, it's goodbye.
You didn't give them a chance to.
Oh, I think they can slot it in. Where can people find you on? Oh, no, wait. Words of wisdom, ne? Yeah, okay. Okay, now I need a calm down. So with all of that being said, what are your last nuggets for our viewers?
Okay, I think the most important thing is there's help if you seek it. And majority of the time, you're probably not even the cause. So you beating up yourself doesn't help. Seek help and you'll get assisted. And that's it. Then that's the most important part.
And have regular sex if you're trying to get pregnant.
Yes.
Not on weekends, especially if
No,
you
generally, I think that's a treat that
on a
people need to
regular
know.
basis.
Yeah, if you're trying
Monday to Monday, must
yes.
pass.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. Man, optimize your health, meaning exercises, losing weight, stop smoking, stop drinking alcohol. And I know some people go like, hey, now try, I can't stop. Okay, drink in moderation for now. Come on, you want to have a child, so
Yeah.
You need to put in the work.
Put in the work,
Sacrifice.
put in the work. And also to the females, I know a majority of you guys have been stigmatized and you guys feel like you're not woman enough. it's sad that you guys, their whole identity as a woman is based on the fact that you can give birth. It's sad, especially in the society we exist in. But a majority of the time, it's not even you. So it's multiple things, and it might even be him. So don't blame yourselves, and please, please. Yeah, depression is real, by the way. Yeah, so that's it. I think that's the most important thing I would like to share.
I don't even think we can add anything to that. I think the last thing that we would ask of you, Dr. Mandla, is just to tell us where people can find you.
Okay.
Your social.
Do you have social?
Your address. Where can people find you?
Okay, so by
Please
the way,
don't give out your phone numbers, man. It gets
no,
dangerous.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yo, bruh, I ended up phoning it. Like, I was booking a patient. Sorry for booking a patient. I was on call yesterday. Now had to send the child to Sebokeng Hospital, Regional Hospital. I'm using my phone, and I wrote my phone on the paper there. Now the mother's calling me there, like, hey, doctor. I'm like, I'm already married. Why did I put my phone?
But you can't blame her. I would do the same. I mean, the number's right there.
I'm like, bro, there she is. Like, daughter, now, yes, and we decided to try our son. I'm like, oh, mama.
You don't have to tell me. It's fine.
Anyhow, it's okay. Yeah, come on. You're getting a phone call and you're like, how? Okay. But yeah, man, okay, majority of the time, I think on my socials, guys, side note, on my socials is just my opinion on things. You'll find that it's in many moments, it's me posting my child. So yeah, proud present father here. He's beautiful, by the way. He's a beautiful child. But if you're looking for me, it's at Dr. M. El Medico on Instagram and also on TikTok and on Facebook. Like my friend likes to say, as I introduce myself majority of the time in the videos, this is your favorite doctor's favorite doctor, your granny's favorite doctor, Dr. M, and Mboba the Great at your service. We do help. And askisi for sometimes for the lines, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the lines, and I'm sorry for what's this? Sometimes the staff, I won't say bomang, but everyone gets tired, guys, and let's just have that, man. But we're all trying, and yeah, man. So yeah, that's me, and I hope next time I get an invite. Thank you guys for inviting me.
No, we definitely will invite you again. I
This
think
was awesome.
this literally opened up a can of worms that we need to just address at this point.
No,
So
absolutely.
we'll definitely. So from your host and your host's favorite host and your grandmother's favorite host, it's goodbye from me and the Mama says.
Better tell you.